Do you avoid using a solar cover on your above ground pool because of the difficulties in putting it on and pulling it off? Well, hopefully this video will show you how simple it can be, even if you're by yourself. So first off, a lot of people think that a solar cover is only used to warm up your pool. What you don't realize is that a solar cover is also very helpful in keeping your water from evaporating. I find myself having to fill up my pool multiple times during the summer months to keep the water level above the skimmer so that the pool functions right. By having a solar cover on your pool during the warm days when you're not using it, you will greatly reduce the amount of evaporation that will happen to your pool water. The biggest problem with a solar cover for an above ground pool is trying to get this thing on and off. It usually takes a couple of people to wrestle with it because they're big and they're bulky and you've got to walk around the pool and pull it in all different sorts of directions. It's even worse if you're by yourself like I was. I found myself getting frustrated and just not using it as often as I wanted to. The other problem you have is storing it when you have it off the pool. You don't want to just kind of throw this thing into a corner somewhere and not take care of it. They're expensive and you don't want it to get ruined. You want it to last you some good amount of years. So in my frustration, I started researching above ground pool solar cover reels, and I found that there are a lot of different ones out there, a lot of different manufacturers, different prices. Some are made of plastic, some are made of aluminum. They all have different features on them. I needed a reel that would fit my specific needs. It needed to mount to my pool so that it would make it easy for me to roll up my solar cover by myself. It also needed to be able to move out of the way when I didn't want this thing, on top of my pool when my cover was rolled up. So it needed to pivot. So there are a few things that I was looking for. I ended up finding one on a pool site. I think I paid about $150 for it. They are available on Amazon, through Walmart. There's all kinds of places that sell these things. I don't know what the availability is now with everything going on in the market right now, but I still see a lot of them out there. And you just got to find one that fits the needs that you have and the layout that you have of your pool and your deck. The one that I got was made of all aluminum construction, the pole and all the mounting, and it was easy to put together. It came in a lot of parts and pieces that had to be assembled. The instructions were not really great, but it was kind of self-explanatory once you started getting into it. Once the actual reel was assembled, then it was a matter of getting the cover to be placed onto it, and that took a little bit of calculations to figure it out because my reel wasn't mounted specifically in the center of my above ground pool. The way that my layout is, I actually had to mount it a little bit off center. It also requires me to fold up some flaps on the solar cover before I actually roll up the cover. It only takes a few seconds. It wasn't a big deal. And the long-term goal of this thing was for me to be able to roll up my cover and swing it out of the way so that my pool was open for me to swim in without having to worry about this. So like I said, I found myself usually doing this by myself. So I wanted to make sure that the whole system was put together in just the right way so that it was very easy for me to do. As you can see in this little clip I took, it only takes about 2 minutes for me to get this whole thing folded up the right way and rolled up and put on the pool, and the same amount of time to unroll it and get the cover on the pool during the day or during the evenings when I want to keep the heat in or keep it from evaporating. It really doesn't take much effort at all. Usually the pool is got a little bit of current to it when I'm doing this, so it'll actually help pull the cover in the right direction. Even when it's not though, the cover really just kind of glides into place where it needs to be. What's nice about this also is during the winter months, your solar cover is now rolled up onto a reel, which makes storing your solar cover nice and easy. I've got a big 2-stall garage. I've got a 24-foot pool. It just so happens to fit in there, all rolled up, nice and neat, stored. I can keep it up high so that nothing gets into it, and that way my solar cover is protected. So if you find yourself getting frustrated and not using your solar cover as often as you want to, go out and get yourself a reel like I did. I'll leave a link below to the one that I bought. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to click that like button and enjoy your pool.